everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rebecca. I also go by on some of my social media, and I used to go by on this channel, Sovoluntaria, and that's my witchy spiritual name. I changed my name for reasons that you can find up above. If you click that link, that one right there, and you go check out my new channel intro video, you'll be able to briefly hear about what that was like for me and why I did that. It's a video that's less than 5 minutes. And normally my videos show my hands and my bullet journal. Today I'm here to talk to you about my depth year. For the year of 2020, I've decided to go into and do a depth year. If you've never heard of a depth year before, I heard of the concept from the lovely witchy YouTuber, Jessica the Story Witch. I will link her depth year introduction video where she explains it all right up in the cards as well. You can give that a click and go check it out. She explains it really well. My understanding of what a depth year is and what I've taken it to mean for me is choosing to go from living up here on the surface to a deeper, more in tuned kind of living. Now, this isn't something everyone feels really called to do. In fact, some people, as she's mentioned in one of her videos, talk about doing a width year where they've lived very narrow, very focused lives. And I don't mean narrow negatively. And so they felt called to open that up and to explore new things. For myself and others like myself, I love a lot of things and I do a lot of things. And I get so caught up in the new things that I'm stuck up here at the surface level and I don't take my learning and my experiencing a lot deeper. And I'm tired of it. Quite frankly, I am tired of it. So I decided to take on a depth year for 2020. And if it's anything like it was for Jessica the Story Witch, okay, now that there's been a quick wardrobe change, it might just be a lifestyle thing. And honestly, I kind of hope it is, because though it's important to explore new things, I think that a depth year will help to introduce some much needed balance into my life in regards to how I'm living, because I do a lot of grazing, you could say. So, what does my depth year look like? Well, I don't know yet because I'm not there. However, I do have some ideas and some plans. I am taking on the prospect, and if I look down, it's because I've got my bullet journal open to my depth year page notes. I am taking on the idea of no buying in the depth year, and that is purely because I really like buying stuff. So I've got no buying as a general rule. The things I'm absolutely not going to be buying. Number one, books. I'm not going to be buying any books. And that is because, as our footage that you will see spliced in here in just a minute will show you, I have a pile of books that I'm very excited about, bought or acquired, and I haven't read them. So instead of buying new books, I'm going to focus on the ones I already have and determine if there's any knowledge in there that I want from the books I already have. And here is that footage. Okay, so here we go. This is my bookshelf. And this is my giant pile of books. I got all sorts of them. I've read a few of them. Not all. Look at them. There's like 39 books there, give or take one or two that I might not have counted properly. Like 39 books. I haven't fucking read most of them. So, why would I buy new books when I have all of these? See what I mean? So, that's number one, no books. Number two is no decks. Now, by that I mean my Oracle and Tarot decks. This isn't as big of a thing for me as it is for some people. It's not like I buy a bunch of new decks all the time. The point is not buying. The point is focusing. The issue being addressed with the depth year is if you buy something, if you buy a new tarot deck, and then a month later you're buying another new tarot deck, or even a week later, well, then you're not giving yourself time to connect to that first deck you have. So I've put number two, I've put no decks, because I want to work with the ones I have. And I'm not a big tarot deck acquirer anyways. Number three, no planner stickers. And number four, and they go right together, is no planners. Now, this is a harder one for me because I don't buy a ton. I generally buy at least one planner a year. And I have bought planner stickers. This is also difficult for me because this feeds into the idea of decluttering the fantasy self. That's a video and concept I heard of from The Messy Minimalist, which I will link that video up in the cards as well. And you should go check it out. It's a good little video. And I buy pre-printed planners a lot. And I never end up using them. And I buy planner stickers a lot, and I never end up using them. It's the idea that I bought these things because I imagine myself as this person who uses these fancy planners and stickers. So no buying those, and also no buying washi tape. In fact, I'm thinking of just getting rid of my washi tape because I don't really use it. I might repurpose it for, like, put it with my gift wrapping stuff. Don't know. No new purses or bags. That would be number 6. I really like purses. And number 7, and this is a big one, no reusable bags. Still not helping waste that much if you're constantly buying reusable bags. You're supposed to buy a reusable bag and then reuse it. And I have a ton of reusable bags. I also want to focus on not buying a lot just in general. But those are the things I've written down that is absolutely no buy. Under exceptions, I have written down a bullet journal. I do have a beautiful new bullet journal. Should this one run out before the end of the year, I'm allowed to get a new one. This is not something I go excessive on. This is something that I use and I love, and it brings a lot into my life. I am deep in this. So if my bullet journal runs out, I can get one. I also wrote down clothes because if I need them, I'm hoping I will be needing new clothes. And I'm not very excessive about shopping for clothes anymore. That's not a big thing for me. I also put work supplies and painting stuff. Since I am a sold professional painter, I need to be able to get those supplies. And I forgot, also included in the bullet journal stuff is things like pens. But I've just recently found the one pen to rule them all. This is it. Maybe I'll make a cheesy little video about my one pen to rule them all. It's a Zebra Sarasa Clip 05. Love this pen. Anyways, when this pen runs out, I'm allowed to buy a new pen. I know very well what supplies I actually use. Another exception that, or another absolutely no buying item is markers. I have a drawer that I literally labeled all the fucking markers. I really don't need more markers. The exception to that will be this pencil case houses my actively used colors. If one of my actively used colors runs out, I will be able to replace it. Just that one color, because my Staples now has a color wall so I can pick individuals. If you're hearing my son in the background, I hope he sounds cute to you. He does to me. Now, I've written down some notes on things I want to be focusing on, and the focus is the whole point of this. So I want to focus on studying and working with the books that I have. I tend to, all the reading I do nowadays is spiritual journey reading. So I want to study these books that I have, and I want to work with them. That's why I'm not buying new books, because I want to do that with the books I have. I also want to study and work with the decks I have. Part of that is my new bullet journal theme, which I've introduced, and how I'm doing my theming for my bullet journal. You can hear about that in my video, my setup for 2020. It's up in the cards. It just went up this past weekend. Very exciting. It says here, you can tell I wrote this a while ago, because it says, find my pre-printed planner style. And since writing that, I have determined that that is definitely a part of my fantasy self. So, it gets crossed out. Real life here, people. I want to focus on reducing my waste. This is a big one, and I have a YouTube video idea that will go more into that, so I'm just going to move on. I want to rethink how I'm using things. I want to get my house organized. I'm very tired of my house ending up cluttered. Seriously. This is clean laundry sitting behind me on my chair, because we're not fully on top of our things we have, and it's bothering me. So that's a big focus I want to do this year. I want to work on budgeting. Budgeting is huge. And specifically in that, our grocery budgeting. It's very hard to determine. And again, just in this area, I want to focus on how my household runs and work with that. So this year is just a huge year of, or it's going to be, it's not here yet, and I'm so excited for it. The idea of this year is just a huge refocusing on my life and on my living and on how I want to be living. I'm ready to live in a different lifestyle than I've lived in. I don't want to keep doing this same stuff over and over again. I don't want to keep buying stuff. I don't want to keep having a messy house. I don't want to keep feeling overwhelmed. I want to live a calm life, and I know there's only so much of that I can control. So why not take control of the things I can control? I'm very, very much looking forward to this idea of opening myself up to this and living a deeper life. And I want to do this thing. I want to be a witch. I know I am a witch. And I've never really said that out loud, especially on camera. And now I'm freaking out internally because there are people in my life that I would not want to see this. That would just call me crazy. But this is the life I want to live. I want to live this spiritual existence that is a manifestation of the spiritual being that I am. And I don't quite know how that's going to shape, and I don't know how really to go about it. But I want it so badly, and I want it with my husband. I do. I've got, it's from our honeymoon. My heart and soul have been longing for this kind of a life for a long time. This has always been the way I've been. I've always been this way. I just lived in a place where I wasn't allowed to be, because this is a community where it's very easy to be misunderstood. And there's a lot of misconceptions and things about this community, which is a whole other video topic, and I don't want to talk about it right now. So basically, in the year 2020, I'm trying to find my space in the world and find how I can live the life I want to live without being absolutely terrified. And I want to find the things that I like the idea of, that resonate with me. And I want to build those. So that's my depth here. And that's what I got for you. If you made it to this point, I'd love to hear something encouraging in the comments down below. And you know what type of encouragement I'm talking about, I think. I want to hear encouragement about the fact that I'm doing this, and I haven't cut out the part of this video, even though there's a big part of me screaming inside, cut it out, Rebecca. Cut it. Hide it. Run away. It still gets really scary for me sometimes. So, thank you so much for watching this. And please check out some of the links I've mentioned, and I hope you'll think about liking and subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. I've been successfully posting every week for a couple weeks now. I've got consistency going, and that's wonderful. Next week's video, so I'm posting every week. Next week's video is going to be my setup for January 2020. Maybe I'll use that as my screenshot. My setup. 1 minute, buddy. Next week's video will be my setup for January 2020. Okay, honey, hold on. So that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope I'll see you again sometime soon. Love and light always. Bye.